the Van Gogh pocket box. And so tonight, we're going to be trying this Wrentit. And this is what the bird is. We're going to try and sketch a Wrentit. This is native of my neck of the woods in Oregon. So we're just going to give this a try here. Open up to this page and try to sketch. So I'm trying a different angle here so you can see a little bit more of my set, and maybe it'll work a little bit better this way. So the birdie's head. So it's kind of rough here like this, and the big tail goes up there. It's got a little wing coming out there. So I'm going to start with the head. Kind of looks like it was like this. And what I'm using here is a Greta Color Monolith 2B graphite pencil. I've had this for ages. I just kind of went into my box of pencils. Looks like its head is turned a little bit. And so part of the beak kind of comes down here and like that. And then comes down like this, looks like. And I didn't find my eraser, but I did, when I opened the box for this pencil, I did find a kneaded gum eraser in that box, my pencil box. Looks like that's about the shape of it here. So this thing comes this way, and then it comes over here about like that. It's not exactly perfect. And then from here, it has a tail that goes way up like that. And yeah. Okay, so kind of like this over here, and then there's some fluffy feathers over here. And then we have another wing that is starting over here, and it's coming out over here like this a bit, and it comes back in over like that. So, and then it's got a leg and one leg. Am I going to be able to draw that sprinkler too? Am I going to have room enough for that? Oh no. Okay, well, let's just get going before I lose my entire audience, before the entire audience gets bored with the fact that nothing much is happening here. Kind of like that is what his little foot looks like. And then it has another little footsie, comes out like this, down like that. And so we're going to draw the head of the sprinkler that it just happened to land on. Something like that. Comes down here like this, around here, there. This is really challenging, especially for a second grader like myself. I am, kid you not, skills. Here it goes. Maybe like that. I don't know. Hmm. Kind of looks like that. Not perfect. Got this little nub here and a spring. Okay. There we go. And now we can, let's see where the eyeball goes. Looks like it's right here, even with the beak. It's got this big eye right there. And then it looks like it's got this little spot in here for the eyeball-y. All right, I think that's enough information here to get started. Yeah. All right, let's get started then. So the colors of the birdie there. Let me see if I can get this thing to slip. There. It's not going to stay. No, it's not going to stay. Looks like I lost everybody. There was like 15 people that clued into here for a moment. So the color scheme here, it's great. I think we'll just go first with a light color. Oh wait, there's the rest of this sprinkler head. Kind of comes over here and down like that. There we go. Not exactly, but you know, it's close enough, right? So the colors for this sprinky. Oh, you know what? Now I forgot. Now I got to put the bird's other foot where it's really kind of laying out over here in like this. It's got a knuckle. Look at the talons on that thing. It's not perfect, you know, but it's close enough, right? For somebody whose, you know, artistic skills are no more advanced than the average second grader. I think somebody said I was like a three-year-old artist here. That a three-year-old could paint and draw better than this. That's what somebody said last week anyway. So we'll just take their word for it that they know what three-year-olds draw like. Okay. Used with a pure graphite pencil. So the color scheme that we're looking, and I didn't even need the eraser. That's good. Didn't even need the eraser. And though the bird is gray, it is also has some other tones in it, which I think I'm going to do a base coat of the yellow ochre down on the bottom of the bird here. Yellow ochre, and then we'll add with the white, and then we'll go in with the burnt umber, and then some of the Payne's gray. So I think that's the color scheme that we're going to be looking at here. I need to activate the color. So when you're starting your pocket box and starting things out, it's good to do a little spray job on the colors here, just to start out with. Oh, look, there's nobody watching. obviously this is the most boring show on YouTube. The most boring show on YouTube. It doesn't get any more boring than the 999 show. See how good my memory was, that this whole bottom part of the bird was this color, and the top part of the bird was maybe it's more brownish color. Not looking at it right. So these look like gray. I know it looks like gray, but I don't know if I really want to go in with a grayish tone. So we want to come in and just do, I think I'll do this color over the whole of the bird, and then we'll come back over it and add some secondary colors and other colors, and that way we can layer those colors in. You want to start with the lighter value colors first, and then proceed up to the darker colors. Kind of like that. And maybe we'll just do the whole leg too. Now, over the last weekend, I showed my uncle, who is a bird watcher, and he recognized this bird right off the bat. I showed him this picture. It's a killdeer, and he said, "Oh yeah, that's a killdeer." And so that's what we did last week. And I'm thinking that I'm going to go in next color. We're going to be, let's just see what happens here. We're going to add in these darker colors. And so how y'all doing tonight? Trying to layer these colors in with the hopes of adding a little bit more depth to the drawing. Hey, Clint. Oh, your fundamentals course. And so I'm working on this. This is a Wrentit. It is native of Oregon, right in the part of the country where I live. And so, yeah, I was going to do a different drawing altogether, but I need to do more color shaping in order to make it work. Trying to shape the colors here. Come into some different colors altogether. Yeah. Yeah, I did. I think I tried that thing several years ago, but that's a good idea if you can do it. Because obviously you can, because you are doing um, coloration of this bird is not exactly this. It is actually much more gray, but I really just wanted some other color values to be present in it before I go up a notch and add a grayer tone. And I might actually well, you know what? I'm going to be doing another installment of poetry tomorrow. I don't have a guest, so I'm just gonna go solo about at 12:21. I'll probably read another Walt Whitman poem, and then do the poetry that I've done so far. So it should be like 14 or 15 poems. So how are things going up in Newfoundland? I'm gonna make this much darker there. I think I'll change the color of this sprinkler head altogether to be a much lighter color. Maybe I'll make it... Boy, you know, it really looks like that E.T. character. You know, the Steven Spielberg phone home? Oh, it's minus 12 degrees Celsius. That's pretty cool. Minus 12 Celsius. It's like, what, 30 degrees below zero or something like that? I think I'll make the whole sprinkler head blue or something. We'll do a layer of some blue down, just to have it, give it some contrast. Not that I've ever seen a blue sprinkler head before, but all that gray and stuff in there is going to have a... Wait, what is that? A hair? Where did that hair come from? Yeah. Minus 12. And where each degree is like... So that's like negative minus... That's close to 0 Fahrenheit. And it might even be just a little bit below 0 degrees Fahrenheit, if I remember, if I get my my conversions right. And so, what do you think of the new this new angle here? It's not as close up, but I can actually show off a little bit more. Being doesn't exactly look like that, but you know what? I'm not like an expert in drawing anyway, so... Oh, I went right over the top of that. I better lift that color off the foot. There we go. It's a little bit lifted. So at 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah. So it's got a little bit more light in here. Some different colors over there. Put the shadows in. Maybe I can make it look 3D and all. Okay. Get these zones in here. A little darker. Some more shapies going on. Let's go take it the other thing, which the whole thing, and then we'll add it, give a secondary color to the lawn ornament. In there, back in there, a little bit darker. I wonder if I put some of this blue in here, if it'll bring it out, make out some grayer tones. Yeah. 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 Yeah, it did make me like. Well, that's why I kind of want to know why I drew. I kind of changed the. That's why I chose the name anyway. It'll come in here and give me some more grayish tones. And let's see here. Come over here and make it a little bit darker back in here. And pull that blue in here. Makes it, it's given it kind of a greenish tone, simply because of how much yellow there is in that. And coming down here, we'll add some other color to it a bit later. Okay. Let's take this ultramarine blue and use it for this area that's really dark. First, we'll go with the ultramarine blue for a darker area, and then we have it's like a shadow. It's like right in here, and it's kind of in here, but it's not really. Maybe it has like a bit more of this indentation or something like that in there. Okay, I'm gonna come up here and we got a even darker group, which is the Prussian blue. We're gonna go up a notch. This has got some shadow in here, and so you know what? I think I'm gonna need to go after my hair dryer, or I'll just go do a different section here. So this is, I want to slowly bring the colors up to where it might just be kind of a grayish tone. I think it's kind of starting to do that right now. So we got brown in here. We got that brown in here, but we're trying to add in, here I'm adding in this Prussian blue, because rather than just going into my color palette and grabbing the gray, which I could certainly do that, I am adding other colors to it just to try to get that same effect. And back in over there. Now this one, I did grab the gray. And hand over here is getting a little bit tired, a little bit cramped up. All right, now I just completely destroyed that bird's leg, and that's just that is just color that's dancing right on the surface there. Now I grabbed that color, so what I'm gonna do is go right there to the eyeball. I'm gonna just bring in that color there. It's not exactly a round circle, but it's close for its pupil. And then we have this color in over here. So it's not ruined. It kind of looks like it's ruined right here, but you know, if you listen to me long enough, you'll would know that I probably would respond that way with just a little bit of bad luck. I think that's kind of looking a little bit furry there. Maybe we get another, and then come back in with this ultramarine blue. Add the ultramarine blue right on top of that Payne's gray. Okay. And I'm going to put this aside over here. And so, yeah, I'm actually trying a different camera angle here. Camera's a little bit higher up. And hoping that those browner colors will be showing through like light. And I like that. I really do like that. It was, what color was its beak? Its beak was sort of really a dark brown, so I'm going to grab that burnt sienna. I'm going to grab that burnt sienna and add that into the beak so we get a little bit more reddish tones. There. And then we just put some more of this in here. So if you want to get good at your art, then you have a YouTube channel. Posting your art and doing actually live art is actually a good way to really rapidly improve your style. And coming back in here on top of the head. Hopefully all those colors will just shine through. And so it's darker under the, it's darker over here. And there we go. How's that look? Does that get a little bit more of a 3D effect by adding some of the shadows in? So we got, where's that line at? Where does that, let's see. The wing kind of starts about here. Kind of starts here, I think. And looks like it goes over. I'm just using a little tiny bit of water and a lot more paint. Kind of like this. There we go. Then there's an edge over here on the top side. So it's kind of coming like this. There we go. It's getting better as I go. That's too much. It's too much. And all right. Not bad. Not bad at all, actually. Fine lines. What I think we'll do now is I'm going to do a background. Hi, Whitecliff. Welcome. Welcome. I was going to finish the other one, but I just needed more layers. I've been working on it. I was working on it today, but I was needing to do a lot more color shaping to get the water and the sky to be kind of reflective of one another. But I did manage to get that orange color that I was kind of seeking by just arranging the layers between red and yellow, blue and purple. So I'm gonna probably bring this one back on Tuesday evening and finish it on Tuesday evening. But I'll probably do several layers on it, and then we'll work on trying to get the whole water surface to be more watery, like that one over there. But we're gonna do now and do a background for this birdie. Let's clean off the So maybe at this point in time, we are doing Clint's two brush technique. I need to get the other, I'm going to use a smaller brush like this. I'm going to make a background, and I'm probably going to do yellow. It is a Wrentit. So this is the bird. This is the bird. It's Wrentit, and its location is in. You know, you might even live in the location of where this bird is at. I am definitely in the range of where this bird is at. Why buy if you can rent it? Yeah. So yeah, these are birds of Oregon, a field guide. And so I'm just using a bird book in order to. All right, we're gonna come over here, get some, I'm gonna go and do a yellow background. And oh, so you have a nesting pair of this bird right in your yard. Oh, yeah. I don't know that I've actually ever seen one before. But then again, I'm not really a bird watcher. That's something that my mother is more so than me. I mean, there are birds here. There's like scrub jays, there's blue jays, and there's quail. The quail were introduced by a man who was the last person to see my father alive in 2012, and then that person who reintroduced the quail into this valley, he also died in a car accident too, like on Salt Creek Flats. You know, like oh, they have a beautiful song. Yeah, you know, my neighbor who, the last person to see my dad alive, died on Salt Creek Flat. Just as you know, there's that Perrydale Road that crosses over 18, and so he essentially died of a left-hand turn. I mean, somebody ran into him. He was turning left onto the highway, and as he was turning, somebody going down on Salt Creek Flats like 90 miles an hour. Just yeah, that stretch is, yeah. That so many people have been killed there. Of course, some people did think that he had a heart attack at the same time, and that maybe, you know, like my dad, they think that he had either a heart attack or a stroke, and that's what really caused that car accident, and which my father died on just as Christensen Road crosses over Highway 18. Yeah, that's right. Highway 18 and Christensen Road is where my father died at. And yeah. Yeah, and that was oh well, it's in some sense, when I look back, it's like he never, yeah, Highway 18. Yeah. And you know, I don't know how many neighbors I've had who have died on Highway 18. People around here. One of my coworkers, on the day that she retired from the casino, she was just driving home on again Salt Creek Flats, and got killed in a fatal car accident. Her, of course, and right there. Yeah. Yeah, and as a consequence, I love driving, but I'm completely paranoid, and I get lots of driving anxiety. hmm I had driving anxiety even before my dad passed away from a car. It didn't help. It doesn't help matters. I'm running out of yellow really, really fast here. And I got things on this table here that I pulled out of the ditch near where my father passed. They may have even been in his truck. Some of the things may have just been things that were in his truck. I wanted to go see his truck before, but I couldn't. And then when I did was strong enough to go, they had already taken it away from. They had it at a wrecking yard like in Yamhill, Carlton. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they don't know exactly. They gave us like three reasons why the car accident, why he could have gotten. The three reasons they gave us is he either fell asleep, or he had a stroke, or he had a heart attack. And the week before, mother and him he had lunch in McMinnville, and he was at that time he was kind of clutching his chest, and so that's why mom thinks he had a heart attack. And then he didn't get much sleep. He didn't sleep much. It's I think about it this time of year because it's really getting close to the time that Dad did pass. Well, he passed in on June. Oh, crap! I forgot the date. Hey, that's a good sign that I forgot the day, the date. I think it was June 24th. It was 1 week in that year. It was 1 week after Father's Day. Father's Day. Yeah, just right after Father's Day. Hmm. Well, he was also under tremendous amounts of pressure too, and that from that having at 70 years old. He died at age 72, but at 70 years of age, having um, gone into business again for the second time in his life, and things weren't going well. It was just lots of pressure. Maybe it was just too much pressure for an elderly person to do that, even though he was sharp as a tack. But you know, pull the color around. I do kind of like this process of building the foreground image first and then doing the background image. I'm going to come in with some of this green over here, and I'm going to make some zones in here that are sort of greeny. Just kind of like the picture. I don't think I'm going to use any more of that green. I'm going to use all of this green and pull it in throughout the whole piece. And be standing, water is going to just be standing right on the surface of it. You can lift out some of the color. So this is a Wrentit, if you're just joining us. 999 show. Please like and subscribe if you like live stream art, but I also do other things on this channel. I do talk as well. I do a talk show too, and this is April is Poetry Month, and I'm celebrating April Poetry Month every Sunday afternoon, 12:21 Pacific time. I know that poetry is not very popular, but I have some new poems that I want to share with all y'all who are interested anyway. Last week I had a guest on for my show, and I think the next following week I will also have a guest on. I like how the yellow is showing through, and how we got a lot of mileage out of that that green up there. I think I might come in over it with just another shade of yellow, just to get more tones in it, golden colors. If you notice here, I put a lot of water on here and I've just lifted the color right out of it, which is kind of a danger of watercolor. You can lift the colors right off the page if you're not careful. And just by my nature alone, habit alone, I'm starting to hold the brush back at the back here. And eventually I'm going to get really good at this. Maybe I'll be able to progress beyond, being like a 3-year-old in my drawing skills. There we go. That's a nice background here. We'll leave it at that. So let's come in and go back. Let's look at the picture again and see what other things we can do to the bird to make it look more like the bird in the picture. The Wrentit does not really have any blue in it. It's more gray. It's gray and it's brown. And so to put some more light back into it. So down on the front of like its beard here area, I'm going to add some more yellow ochre. And that should help there. And then we need to bring it more yellow. Well, actually, I think if I just come in under here and I bring in some more darker tones, let's go first under the beard and bring in some more of that yellow ochre. A little more over here. Bring in just a little bit more light, and then coming down on its leg here. I don't think I need this second brush for this. I think we're just gonna put that color in. Okay, that color is kind of spilling over. All right. I need to lift off that color a little bit because it's not really. Well, maybe we'll use this brush over here to try to lift that color up so we can have just something a bit more smoother. Yeah, that works. You can't really do this with acrylics. There we go. Wow, look at that. We unruined it. Isn't that amazing? Let's take a look at it again. But they're still kind of wet over there, so I think I need to add in a little bit more of that yellow ochre on the top here, just bring some light into it. We'll see how it dries. I'm kind of covering up everything, aren't I? All right, and then here, under the tail, the tail. The bird looks pretty cool, don't you think? And I've been in this for 53 minutes. I was going to only do it for like a half hour, but I guess it took me a lot longer to do this than I was planning. Then I want to go back and work on the sprinkler here. We have some light over here. We need to... I think I'm just going to take the Payne's Gray and we'll put the shadows in kind of like this. And then it has like a sprinkler head and maybe a little bit of a shadow over here. It's got some shadows on this side. Maybe it kind of looks more 3D. It doesn't. I know it doesn't. I know. Maybe like that. Just a little bit of a sharper edge. Kind of like that. And then what? And it had some shadows here, so we'll add some more shadows right there. Mordor, where the shadows lie. So if you like the content, please push the like button and or the sub button for that matter. I am still trying to grow my channel even higher, as well as the watch time. My watch time is kind of lagging behind a bit. I'm like 600 hours away from the first level of monetization, and so which means I'm 1600 hours away from the 4,000 hour requirement for monetization. Mm-hmm. There we are. I'm just blocking everything off because I'm looking at the picture, and actually it looks pretty cool. Birds doesn't look anything like the wren kill, because it's the Wrentit, because it's too many lighter tones in it. So I just need to come in and get some more darker tones. And let's see, what should I do? More brown? Yeah, let's just do more brown. More of the darker brown here. You can see that the light is shining on it towards its front. That's where the light is kind of shining. Mm-hmm. Come on, Bill. Let's gotta get this right. You got things in frame. I think I'll try this new setup for a while. You can... It's a little harder to track the chat while it's going on, but... Mm-hmm. Adding this Chinese white in there might help it to get some more grayer tones. I have a feeling that this is not a one live stream painting session. I think it's more like a two, because of just, slowly you're morphing those colors into being what they look like in the book. There's various shades of light and dark colors. Still too wet over there to me and even entertain adding color to it. There we go. It's better. It's better. It's getting closer. Let's go add a little bit of light on the top of its head for where the sun is kind of striking it. There. And then around here, oh, well, I ruined the eyeball, but I guess we'll have to go back over that again with that Payne's Gray again. You know, we got a lot of this white. We can just put it in here. No sense wasting it. Now, what about this leg here? And my birdie leg is like way too thick. Oh, I don't know. One of these days I might be able to get those details better. With watercolor, I don't know if I can or not. I mean, it might be just way too loose. Way too loose with the colors. Let's put this another drop right here on the eyeball. And then maybe we're coming in here. We'll just do a few more. Looks like we got black feathers, stuff like that. More feathers kind of coming out here. The other wing. I think I'm done. So we're gonna be, what are we gonna call this thing? It's a Wrentit. And let's see if we can do this. Is today the 12th? Is today April 12th? For 12/25. That didn't work at all. No good. That was no good. Let's put it up here in pencil. We're looking at a Wrentit for 12/2025. All right, and then I can come in and just do, again, take this yellow here. We'll paint it over that, all of this, and it's maybe we can come back in on this thing and just lift the colors right off. Look, I erased it. Cool. All right. I think it's not bad. I mean, it's not perfect. It's not perfect, but it's close. Just not close enough, right? All right. Thank you guys very much for being here tonight and journeying with me on doing a live painting of a Oregon bird. It is a Western Oregon bird called a Wrentit. And please like and sub my content. And come back tomorrow at 12:21 p.m. Pacific time for my celebration of National Poetry Month. Thank you very much. Blessings and peace to you. And I will be back at you tomorrow with something cool. Bye-bye.